And we back. Yeah, y'all notice something? Everything is pretty much gone. This is the last video I am recording in this apartment. I bought a house, y'all. I bought a house, so I'm actually moving tomorrow and the day after that, so you probably ain't gonna get no videos then. But everything is packed up and it's a little frightening. And I had a great 2 years in this apartment, but I need something bigger, so a house is what we're doing. Now, today's video, the much requested Centers tier list videos here. This is the last one, unless y'all want me to do like coaches or y'all want me to do 6 men, or just keep letting me know. I don't know. Just comment down below. Now, the center list is pretty difficult. I was looking at it right now, and every team, it seems like, has a pretty decent center. So let's take a look at the list we have here. We have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, D tier, and F tier, of course. And then look at all these faces down here. Most of these players are very good. So you're probably going to see majority of the centers in the A, B, or S tier. You're not going to get a lot in S tier, but you get what I'm saying. It's such a stacked position, and I may offend you. I'm going to try to rationalize why I have every player in every tier. You can agree or disagree regardless. I hope you do enjoy the video. But let's start off with Andre Drummond. Again, I didn't create these lists. So, for example, they got Robin Lopez in for the starting center of the Bulls. I would rather have Wendell Carter, but I didn't create this, okay? So don't come at me if they got the wrong starter, all right? But Andre Drummond is a very curious case. I'm going to throw him in at B right now. He did not have a very, very great season. And when his team needed him the most, he kind of, I don't want to say disappeared, but he didn't play well at all in the playoffs. Like, he had one of the worst plus minuses in the history of the NBA when the playoffs came around. But he is an amazing defender, the amazing rebounder. He's the best rebounder we have in the league. And his defense is not as great as it used to be, but he's still a pretty decent defender. So right now he is B tier. Also B tier is Al Horford. Al Horford is like B plus tier. He's not a guy that's going to go out and average a 20 piece for you, but he was the most important player on those last two Celtics team. The one that got eliminated in the second round, he was the most consistent and the most important. And then last year when they made it to the conference finals, I believe he was the most important player in that run. So next we have Bam Adebayo. I have to say this in every video, but this is not a projection to a player's career. This is based on what we have today. And based on what we have today, I think Bam Adebayo is like a D tier. He definitely shows the flashes that one day he'll be a very good center. But at this point, he did get better from last year. And that's a good thing. Maybe next year he's C tier, and the year after that he's B tier. Who knows where it goes, but right now I'm going to rank him in the D tier range. Then we have Brook Lopez, who is such a weird case because he reformatted his entire game. I knew Brook Lopez as one of the last back-to-the-basket centers like 3 years ago, and here he is shooting 30-foot threes. I'm putting him in the C tier. Clint Capella, B tier as well. He just got his paycheck, so congratulations to Clint Capella. He got it early in the season or before the season started. Congratulations to him. Went from pretty much nothing, second round pick and everything, to now being one of the better centers in the league. He rebounds well, he defends well, and he's the perfect center to have alongside James Harden. Then we get to Cody Zeller. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all, Hornets fans. I didn't catch many of y'all games because if Kemba wasn't going off in the fourth quarter, I wasn't really tuning in. So based on what I do know, I'm putting him D tier. Now, I'm admitting right now that could be wrong, Hornets fans, so don't come at me. You let me know if he's C tier, but right now I'm putting him in the D tier. DeAndre Ayton had a very underrated rookie season. He was the first overall pick for a reason, but he was overshadowed by, of course, Luka and Trae Young having such great seasons. But DeAndre Ayton for sure had a C tier season. I think he's going to end up in B tier and A tier eventually, as soon as he starts to figure out it defensively, and he shows strides that he will figure it out, which is great. Boogie. How do I grade Boogie? Do I grade him on the past 4 seasons? If I'm grading him on the last 4 seasons, not including this year, he's like an A tier. But if I'm basing it off this season, coming off his Achilles injury, he's probably a B tier center at this point. You know? So you let me know. Should I grade him based on the previous years, or are we talking about right now? I'm going to keep it as right now, and he is B tier. Dwayne Dedmon, I'm also throwing into D tier. I like Dwayne Dedmon, though, because he protects the paint, and he's a stretch. He can knock down the three. I think he shot like 38% from three or something similar to that for a 7-foot center. I'll take that any time of the day. But other than his rim protection and his occasional three-point shot, I think he's just what he is. Then we have Dwight Powell. Similar situation. He just declined a $10 million option, and I want to call him up and tell him to fire his agent, because I don't know if there's another team out there that will offer Dwight Powell more than $10 million for a year. And I think he's good. maybe not good enough to be C tier or B tier, but I think he's good. But $10 million, do we turn it down 10 mil? Maybe he knows something that I don't. Maybe there's a team out there that's willing to pay him 15 mil, but I don't see it, at least at this point. Zubac. Listen, again, this is not a projection video. I love Zubac, though. I like that after Magic Johnson was on TV talking trash about him, saying, what did he do? He averaged 5 points and 5 rebounds in the playoffs. I mean, we traded him for Mike Muscala. Regardless, I think his career is going to be decent. He definitely shows his flashes, but again, based on what we have today, we're putting him in the D tier. We have Jared Allen at C tier, one of the better rim protectors in the league. But we saw when he went against Joel Embiid in the playoffs, he got into some foul trouble, and he's very block happy. And I think that may be a problem with his youth. You know, he always wants to block shots. He wants to challenge everything, which is cool, but you have to start playing with your mind more than your physical capabilities. I just noticed that we don't have Hassan Whiteside here. They put Bam here, but I guess late in the season, Bam did take his starting spot. Then we have JaVale McGee. Now, this may be a bit controversial, but JaVale McGee is definitely a C tier in my eyes. He definitely just came off 2 of his best individual seasons, where, of course, he's protecting the paint. And offensively, he had his moments. You're like, can JaVale McGee score the ball better than I remember? Then we have Nurk. Nurk is definitely a B tier. He's having the best year of his career. It's unfortunate what happened to his leg and everything, but he had such a good season, so he is definitely B tier. Then we have Joel Embiid. I think he is the best center in the league right now, so we're throwing him up to the S tier. Offensively, defensively, he brings it all. The only big thing is his health. You know, we don't know if we're going to get 50 games for him or we're going to get, it's like 70. I mean, I don't know. Did he play 70 this season? Let's check that out. So this season he played 64, which is 1 more than last year. So not only do we worry about his health, his conditioning always bothers me, and I think those go hand in hand. If you're missing 30 games, you're probably not gonna be in game shape. So we saw him in the playoffs either tired or just injured. So other than that, when we basing off his pure playing ability, he's S tier. Then we have DeAndre Jordan, who I'm throwing into C tier. Now, that may not rub you right because he was an all-NBA player a couple years ago and everything, but this last couple seasons, he hasn't been the defensive monster that he was when he was with the Clippers. And I don't know if that's lack of motivation. He's playing with Dallas, and they weren't very good, and then he got traded to New York, and they definitely weren't good. So maybe he just lacks the motivation to really start his defensive firepower again, but right now we throw him in the C tier. Then we have Jakob Poeltl, who I'm throwing in as the first F tier center. He averaged like 5 points per game this season. He's still relatively young, so who knows what he can be, but right now we're leaving it at that. Now we have Valanciunas, who after he was traded, or actually before he was traded, he was having such a great season. He was averaging maybe 16 and 10 or something like that in only 20 minutes. Like, he was having such a great season off the bench, but then they made that trade between him and Marc Gasol. Then he went to Memphis and he was averaging 20 and 10. So I like him a bunch. But I don't know if he's good enough to be on the B tier just yet. So let's make him a C plus, and then we'll come back to him and maybe he is B tier by the end of the video. Then we have Karl-Anthony Towns. Karl-Anthony Towns, again, I'm going to say this. I tweeted it, but I don't know if many of y'all are following on Twitter. If you're not, it's at the KOT4Q. I think that Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be an MVP candidate next year, but of course that all relies on how good Minnesota is, because we know that Karl-Anthony Towns can score the ball. He had his flashes defensively last year after the whole coaching change. But all that being said, right now I'm putting him in the A tier. I don't think he is superstar just yet, because if he was superstar, they wouldn't have missed the playoffs this year. You know what I'm saying? So he is A tier with the potential to be S tier in a year. Then we have Marc Gasol. I'm throwing Marc Gasol into the B tier because he's similar to Al Horford in the way that he impacts the game so much. He's so important, but his stat line may not always say that. Some days he has like 8 and 9, but he's playing good defense with his body. I mean, he was the Embiid stopper, and though Embiid did have a couple good games, and when they were playing against each other in that series, Marc Gasol played some great defense. Miles Turner is also B tier. It's unfortunate that he was snubbed from all defensive teams, and he didn't get that many votes, which is crazy to me. When I made my ballot, he was all defensive second team, but hey, I don't get an official vote. Then we have Nick Vucevic, also B tier, had a career year, made it to the playoffs for the first time in forever for Orlando. I love his game, but right now he is B tier with the possibility maybe by the end of this video he may be A tier. We'll figure that out. Jokic is the other S tier. These are my two superstar centers, at least at this point. Both had phenomenal seasons. I mean, one guy was all NBA first team, the other was all NBA second team. So these are very, very good players. I don't need to defend you or why Jokic is good, right? Julius Randle, B tier, baby. B tier, had the career year, and he's about to get paid. I don't know where yet, but he's about to get paid. Rudy Gobert, A tier. The most impactful defensive center we have in the NBA, because I ain't want to say player because Kawhi is still out there and Giannis is still out there. But center-wise, defensively, Rudy Gobert is that guy, and that's why I think he will win Defensive Player of the Year. You can look at all the statistics, the advanced stats, and they'll show you that Rudy Gobert is one of the best centers in the league. Sure, he averaged 16 points per game, which is his career high. Congratulations, Rudy. But he does everything else. He does everything else. Then we have Robin Lopez. I love Rolo as a Bulls fan. He had them times where he looked like Kareem, but we got to keep it realistic here, and he's an F tier. Then we have Steven Adams, so I'm throwing in that B tier. Thomas Bryant is going to go D tier along. Tristan Thompson is going C tier. And then Willie Cauley-Stein is going D tier for me. Now, this is my list right now. I'm going to take a step back, go to revising, and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my final list. I did move Boogie up. I'm going to decide to judge him off the previous seasons, not his injured season. And then I also brought Valanciunas. I moved down Thomas Bryant, and I also moved down JaVale McGee. So this is my final thing. The centers are such a weird one, and part of this I don't feel extremely confident with. The other 4 episodes I did, I felt very confident with my final answers. But right here, a lot of this is very interchangeable, I will admit. But hopefully you did enjoy the video. If you did, leave it a like, man. I'll be back in a couple days after we're in my new apartment or my new house. And that's it. Peace.